one second here. I have a story that I'm going to share. And a mistake that a lot of us make when trying to achieve that icy blonde. So, I'm not trying. Hold on one second, guys. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I want to get on here and talk about blondes because it's what I do a lot of. And the I don't want to say mistake, but the thing that I see a lot is when stylists are wanting to achieve that icy bright blonde, and they're just using straight ash or straight violet or ash violet, which in theory makes sense, of course. And if you're truly wanting like silver or like really, really you want to see the gray, then yes, that's what you need to do. But I had this client who, one in particular, who she's got really dark hair, and we lift her really light with highlights. Like I do a really heavy foil, take tiny sections, tiny skip sections, tiny highlight sections, and we get her really, really light with the color. And she likes to be icy, ashy as possible. And so for a while I was using just the straight 981, which is level 9 violet ash toner on her. And at first it was giving us the result, but over time she would come in and her hair would just start to look almost dark, like almost muddy. We do the toner, it was like no matter how, I'm lifting her as light as someone, her color can go really bright. I'm putting the icy white toner on her, but it's actually having the opposite effect. And so I started switching up her toner, and instead of just putting on the straight icy ash, I actually put some warmth in there. So I put some beige on it, just straight beige. So that's not really, it's not as warm as gold, but it's warmer than like an ash and a violet. And so what that did, so when we dried her hair was brighter than it's ever been. She freaking loved it. And I think we get so scared to put any warmth in our toners because our clients, absolutely don't want gold. They don't want to see any gold. They don't want to see any warmth. And so that makes us afraid to put any warmth in their toners. But the reality is, blonde hair needs that warmth to reflect light. In order for it to look brighter, it needs some warmth in it. It needs some gold because ash makes things look darker. So we do want the ash in there if we're trying to combat warm tones. But what I find most of the time is that actually putting a gold toner or a beige toner or mixing some of those in with the ash toner actually makes it more, it makes it the desired result versus putting just straight ash on it, which makes it darker, makes it muddy. Unless you're truly wanting to see the gray, I almost never do toners without a little bit of warmth in it. And so think about it, like if you're lifting something to a really, really light blonde, like a white almost, you're missing that gold pigment in there. So putting a gold on that isn't actually going to make it look gold, right? Because what do we know about color theory? When it's missing the pigment, putting that pigment back in it doesn't actually turn that color. It makes it almost more of a neutral color. It's why you need to go extremely warm when you're filling, because if we don't put major warmth back in the hair, the color's not gonna take right? Like we need to put major warmth in it to even get a neutral result. So if you're putting gold on a white light color, it's not going to look gold. It's just going to make it brighter and more reflective and shinier and prettier. Like that's what warmth does. So I'm not saying there's never a place for just straight ashy silver, you know, violet toners. Of course there's a place for that, but for the average, in my experience, the average color that you're doing, a little bit of warmth and a little bit of gold actually is going to give you a beautiful end result. The client doesn't know there's gold in it, and the client doesn't need to know there's gold in it. Like they're paying you for your expertise, not to share their formula with them. Like that doesn't matter. You don't need to run it by them. Like whatever is going to get the end result, they don't care about what goes in it. But if you get weird about it and you feel weird about putting that in there, and then you tell them and you make it a weird thing, like don't do that. Do what you know needs to be done to get them the end result. Like you're the one that knows color theory. You're the one that went to school for this. So another thing I'll do sometimes too is even if something turns out a little bit warmer than I want with the highlight, sometimes I will even put a gold over something that is too warm. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but a lot of times what happens is it doesn't actually make it more gold or more warm. It just makes it a prettier gold or a prettier warm. Like if I don't mind seeing some warmth in there, I have a client who doesn't want it to be super ashy. They just want it to be, you know, blonde and pretty and bright. I will just put a straight gold on there, even if it's got warmth to begin with, because it just makes it a prettier gold. It doesn't make it more of that unwanted brass tone. It kind of makes it a desirable gold tone. So I just wanted to share that little tip that if you're feeling like your colors, you know, your icy toners aren't making the hair brighter, you feel like it's almost kind of dull, you're not getting that shine, you're not getting that platinum, it may be that you actually need to put some warmth in there, because when you're working at such lightness, the gold isn't going to make it look gold. It's just going to put some of that light reflection back in there, some of that shine. Like all the things that make hair beautiful, in my opinion, come from warm colors. So if you're having that issue, just want to hop on and share that with you. Go for a beige, go for a gold, or go for mixing a little bit of a beige or gold in with your formula, and you will probably get the end result you're looking for. I mean, this client's hair was brighter than it's ever been, and I used a straight beige on her. We've always just used ash because she always wants it ashy, and so I was nervous to honestly do what I needed to be done and put some warmth in there. But at the end of the day, it was what needed to be done. It didn't look warm, it looked bright and beautiful and platinum in a way that the violet ash toners weren't doing. So just want to hop on, share that with you. Don't be afraid to put some warmth in your colors. If you're not, it's probably what it's missing, and they probably need it. So happy to answer any questions. I use Kevin Murphy. I love the line. I've been using it for a few years now. So that's, you know, what I go to if anyone has any questions. I'm not an educator for the line, but I've been using it for a while. So anyone needs any tips or advice or formulation ideas, I'm always here to chat. If you have any toner tips, tricks, or toner tips or tricks that you want to share, feel free to leave in the comments. If you found this video useful, please do me a favor and share it, because who all can't use a little toner inspiration, right? So I hope you guys have an amazing Wednesday, and that's all I have for you today. I will see you all later.